from 2010 to 2015, bikini posing was very different, right? So she's standing there in that old school front pose in her bright pink bikini. And I remember thinking like, I could do that. How hard could it be? And then I brought it up to my then husband at the time. And he was like, I could never support my wife being sexualized on stage, but he was very aggressive and really, really negative about it. And so when I got the courage to leave him, the first thing I did was sign up for a bodybuilding competition as kind of a fuck you, because, I'm free now and I can do what I want. And I very quickly realized how much I absolutely loved it. And I got hooked. So I ended up doing 2 shows as a bikini girl. Had no business doing that, truthfully. My second show, it was awful. But like, I didn't take it seriously. I was a terrible athlete and just, but that's how I got introduced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think bikini's often the division for a lot of competitors to start, because back in the day when bodybuilding first started, there was only one division, women's bodybuilding. Mm-hmm. But then over the years it has evolved. You have fitness, you have, figure, you have, physique. Bikini and wellness, those were more like brought into the sport. They didn't really evolve from the other sports like that. Mm-hmm. And you had the new division, which was supposed to be a throwback to bikini. Excuse me. Fit model. I have my qualms about that. I just feel like you're bringing in something that's going to end up looking like the thing you're supposed to be making a knockoff of. Those women are going to end up after a while looking like those women in the bikini division, where you're supposed to be like a throwback. But that thing is, you can't maintain, a certain way, especially how competitors grow. And my thing is also, I can, I'm not saying I understand, but I've seen it growing up. My mother and father, they were, their relationship was like, but they were still married legally, even though he lived up in Jersey. We were still in North Carolina. Mm-hmm. My sister, she had an abusive husband. This is the thing is, I don't think no man should hit on a woman or do anything to her. If you don't love that woman, you shouldn't, just leave her alone. Be by yourself.
Yeah. He was 5'11", $135, soaking wet. He was a long distance runner, right? He wasn't built. He wasn't, ginormous by any means, but I'm 5'8", and I think I was only like 150 pounds at the time. And it looked very, very different from what like my stage weight at 153 looks like right now. I was very deeply into yoga. I was a yoga fit person. I was a yoga instructor for a while, and he just constantly, the insults, you're so fat, you're too big, you're an embarrassment. He almost killed me several times. It was awful. And when you're in those situations, you don't really feel like you have an outlet, let alone an option to leave, because you are convinced that ultimately that's what you deserve. And you get sucked into this black hole vortex of like, no one could possibly love me or appreciate me. This is all I'm worth. I'm going to die here. And that's all there is to it. And it really it takes like one person to tell you otherwise and to believe in you, to say, you know what, I'll provide you safe harbor, run away to my place. I'll protect you, and you can leave him. And it really just takes like one droplet of hope that you can leave, that things can be different for you to actually do something about it. I know that most women in those situations, it seems like the abuse and the horror is never ending, and the option to run, it just doesn't exist. But if there is any hope, I know that there are places of safe haven, women, those homes against domestic violence and domestic abuse. Most of the time the police are not exactly super helpful until like something has been done. But I mean, try everything at your disposal. Do not give up hope. If there's anybody that you can look to as like, I don't want to say an inspiration, but like an icon of it can get better, I'm a good example. That does not have to be your life. And don't get me wrong, I've been in other relationships where they may not have been as physically abusive, but the emotional abuse and the psychological abuse were unreal. And it's not like I made better decisions after that in my dating history. Like, it takes a while. You mess up a lot of times in your dating life. People are like, you're not my type. And the type is just a pattern, right? Like, Want to continue the pattern? Have a type. If you want to get a better life, stop dating your type, you know? And that didn't happen. My life didn't get massively better until like 3-4 years ago. So there is hope. You just have to be brave enough to take that first step. And it's mind-bogglingly difficult.
I can tell you the truth. I got honestly say I'd never been in relationships. I had relations. Me and some ladies had some nice times. We we enjoy our company, and sometimes we became friends. Another thing is that you as a person, you can do bad by yourself. To have somebody else just to beat you down mentally, physically, emotionally. Again, as a man, I can never understand why any man want to hurt somebody they're supposed to love. I remember I was watching this. It was an old movie, and there's a part of it where it was these cowboys were coming into town, and it was the Kevin Costner version of Wired Up. Not my favorite. I prefer Doc Holliday's with Val Kilmer. And there's a part where he told him to give up the guns because he can't have the guns in town. And Wes in the Ram, I think he was the head of the guys. Says, well, guys, only thing we have is to beat with these women is between our legs. And that's the thing is, as men, you women are both our strength for our weakness, and in return, we supposed to give this equal support. You mean not like this. I may not like something that you're doing, but if you like it, you love it. I think I'm saying, you know what? That's you, baby. That's you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're meant to be complements to one another. And I know the big thing right now is like masculine versus feminine roles and whatnot. But like, I think that as individuals, you have strengths. And when you find somebody that works well with your strengths as well as your weaknesses, that's when things really start to blossom. And if you can progress at the same rate, that's when love tends to stay in a relationship. So the man I'm with now has been unbelievably supportive of my bodybuilding journey, which is shocking to me a little bit because like I'm not exactly petite, right? Like I'm kind of
bitch.
I'm kind of like we big bitch power, right? Like
yeah,
I'm not as big as other women that I look up to. Oh my gosh. You had her on your show, female bodybuilder. She won the overall for women's bodybuilding at nationals in Texas 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Oh, I feel so bad.
I'm talking about Amanda Santos.
No.
Oh, Anastasia, right?
Yes, Anastasia. Okay,
yeah,
I'm not as big as Anastasia. She is jacked, and she is like one of the coolest people on the planet.
I actually, we did an interview a while back because we did a little update because she didn't. I think she only did one show this year.
Yeah,
and I know she has a new boyfriend because she wasn't ready for herself. And think about also, Anastasia used to be a cop. You know that she used to be a cop, and she's planning on taking this, I think, this year off, and I think maybe competing next year.
Yeah.
And she's an amazing person. I mean, I actually saw her. I went to Tampa to help a friend of mine. She runs her own booth called Bad Rap, and I was there to help her. I saw she was there, because I think she had some clients competing at Tampa Pro. And if you one thing when some of y'all ladies, when it's one thing when y'all see y'all like on video or on your live stream, but we see you up close and personal. That's a totally different situation.
Yeah, you get a different type of respect. I had the privilege of I did nationals at the same show that she won her pro status at, and the amount of growth that she's obtained since then has just been jaw-dropping and so inspiring. And I don't have the mass that she has, but I am, my back's big and I am broad and I am strong as hell. And so when you get into the dating realm, it doesn't translate well. Most guys look at you and are like, oh shit, she could kick my ass, which I don't know why people equate size to function and coordination. I can throw a jab, but come on.
Well, I've done content with ladies in MMA and mixed martial arts, and I've seen that some of those women who are even smaller can move because it's about movement. It's about how you throw a punch, how you swing. There's a difference. Everybody looks at when you're big, you have, you can be big but still don't have you just have strength. I'm a country boy. I grew up, doing stuff. We used to wrestle. You know, I knew guys who fight better than me because they had hands. I just say, I grab you, just slam you down. I just wrestle, you know.
Yeah.
But the other thing is, people look at something you look at something that's like not the norm, especially when it comes to a woman, because you're not the everyday woman, like you say, 5'8", you get all these muscles. You know, you have some guys that get intimidated. You have the other guys who say, "Wow, who's that tall, big, muscular, dark-haired, raven bitch?"
Yep.
Yeah, hey, baby, you can throw me around anytime, you know.
That's my current boyfriend. He's an angel. He looks at me and is like, "God, baby, you're back." I'm like, "Stop it. Thank you."
He said, baby, I'd love being your massage therapist. Just rub your back, you know. That's a good thing. You found someone that loves you, supports you, especially what you've been through.
I feel so stupidly fortunate and so blessed because he so prior to meeting, his name is David. Prior to meeting David, right? Like I'd never had anybody take care of me, for lack of a better phrase, right? Like no, I haven't had a boyfriend in my past who contributed to rent or helped pay groceries, let alone like supported my hobbies. And so to go from, horrible dating decisions and mistakes to this man now who not only supports my hobbies, but like he cooks and preps all of my food. He is the first one that packs all of my food for whenever we have to travel and fly anywhere to compete. He always makes sure that my food timing is like on time. He makes sure that I'm being held accountable to my coach. Like I've never had a partner in what I do. And so, when you ask most billionaires, like what's the most important decision you made in like obtaining your wealth, most of them will say like the partner that you choose dictates your success. And I have never found that statement to be more true than the man I'm dating right now. I feel so fortunate and so blessed. And it just, oh my gosh, I have reaped the rewards of making better dating decisions through this man than I ever thought were possible. So it's been an incredible experience to see how much less stress I've had, the easiness of making decisions, surrounding myself with a much more supportive community, better female friends, and he really was a catalyst to all of that, as well as like a solid foundation to make those decisions on.
Yeah, it's an old song by a singer. He's before your time. You're young little girl. His name is Alexander O'Neill. You have an all real man because he goes to work. He makes sure. That's the thing is, as a man, this is what I learned through my times growing up, being older. It's our purpose in life is to build, battle, and we die. But we make sure between that time that our family's taken care of, our woman's taken care of, our children taken care of. That's our job. That's our nature. And y'all, on the other hand, y'all the ones that are also there to take care of us, support us when we having those days. I know David, he has those days where baby it's her, and you dare say, baby, I got you, got your back. And that's most definitely in the sport of bodybuilding. That is important because this sport, in my many conversations, many of you ladies, it's a very physical sport. It's a very mental sport. It's a very emotional sport. And again, it's also a very financial sport because you are a coach and a nutritionist. When you start doing that, how long have you been doing it?
So I graduated with my bachelor's degree in athletic training back in 2015. So I am musculoskeletal injuries, their rehabilitation and prevention. That is what I went to school for. So I do body work on a lot of bodybuilders. I am part of like their prehab, their prophylactic care, preventative care. I've been doing that for the last 10 years. I work full-time for a shoulder surgeon at a hospital. And then I went to grad school and I got a master's degree in nutrition and a master's degree in sports psychology, graduating in 2023. So I've been doing that just a couple of years. I don't do the nutritionist thing. I don't take on clients that way. I did the nutritionist degree mostly to educate myself more about what we do in this particular arena. But since then, I've started posing coaching, and I've been a posing coach since the beginning of last year. I was educated by Daniel Coffeen and have learned a lot through like John Lofthouse, Emil Young, Sammy Williams, CB. Oh gosh, what is his name? Anyways, a lot of incredibly important figures in bodybuilding who are exquisite posing coaches and posers themselves. And I've become like this Swiss Army knife of usefulness when it comes to injuries, anatomy, bodybuilding, presentation, knowledge, and networking. And so I've been doing like the bodywork thing I've been doing for the last decade. It's been, holy shit, it's almost been like 10 years. It's been almost 11. And then Bodybuilding, I've been doing consistently for the last 6, grand total 8, because I did the bikini thing for a year. I earned my pro card naturally in the figure division back when it was the NGA in 2018. So I earned my pro card, did my first pro show, won my first pro show, and then decided it was too easy. Did a competition in the NPC, and then was burned out and was like, "Fuck this, I'm done." And then I was so tired.
See, like I said, natural bodybuilding. I interviewed a couple ladies who's natural. One lady just got a pro card at the Being Weeder Classic just back in November, because that level of bodybuilding, it's a lot tougher compared to when you do, if you're an NPC competitor, generally most of them are enhanced.
Yeah.
It takes more time to put on muscle. Like just 5 or 6 pounds might take you a year. But when you're an enhanced competitor, like you're using peptides or steroids or whatever, it might take you no more than maybe 6 weeks to put on 5 or 6 pounds. Yeah. And that's the thing about bodybuilding. People always go to the illusion that, I just pop these steroids. I just get big. I be like Arnold Schwarzenegger. Get to the chopper. That's the mindset of everybody when you look at bodybuilding. But it's not that. There's more to it. They're being consistent, follow the diet, the training, the regimen. I mean, your coach. Who's your coach, and how long you been working with?
His name is David White. He goes by Little Dave. He's more like Medium Dave now. He's a big dude. I've been with him for 4 years, and he, poor him. I love him to pieces. When I first started with him, I was in my second marriage. Horrible relationship. It was an IFBB Men's Physique Pro. I fell in love with the guy. He was cheating on me like crazy, lying to me, gaslit the hell out of me. I was taking care of like 2 out of his 4 biological children at the time every other week. He had 2 baby mamas. Yeah, I was naive as hell. It was a horrible, horrible situation, and I ignored everybody, so it legit was like my fault. So by the time I asked Little Dave for help, I was losing my hair in clumps. My skin was breaking out and was awful. My teeth were getting really bad. My nails were breaking. My sleep was awful. I had competed April of 2021 in Wasatch Warrior, and by October, I weighed 2 pounds less, and the composition was completely different. I'd like demolished a whole bunch of muscle that I spent so much time building. And by the time I got to Little Dave, like I ended up crying to him and was like, "David, I do not care. If I ever compete again, please help me grow my hair back, because my femininity is tied to my hair." And I didn't realize that. My head is huge. Okay. I have a 27-inch head. It is ginormous. It's too big to be bald, right? I can't do it. So, and just wigs are not the thing for me. So like, I need my hair. So it took us about a year to get my appetite back. And that was the hardest thing I have done in a minute. Like, prep dieting is relatively easy compared to being in an off season and eating a boatload more food, but getting your appetite back. My A1C when I started with him was like 7.8, and I was 154 pounds. Like, there is no reason that I should be pre-diabetic at 154 pounds. Like, no way. It was a lot of work and a lot of education, and I owe my health and probably my sanity and my life to that guy. So I stuck with him. And since then, I've competed. Oh, geez. We did 3 national shows last year, a national show, 2 national shows the years before. So I think I've done 7 shows with Little Dave. And last year, I took 3rd at North Americans, 2nd at Amateur Olympia, and then 1st at Nationals. And the year before, it was 3rd at Amateur Olympia, and then like 7th at Nationals. So I've come up a lot in terms of like placings, and my physique has drastically improved. He's gotten my health, my hair, my perspective, my attitude, the way that I approach prep, how I deal with stress. My sleep quality is awesome. And not to be like TMI, but bowel movements when you're in a prep, like, they are so important. The amount of women that I talk to backstage that are like, "Yeah, I had to use an enema the night before." I'm like, "Yeah, I've had like 3 yesterday and like 2 this morning. So I don't have problems when I'm deep in prep." Yeah, my GI is, David's a genius. I owe my success to that man. I would not be here without him, hands down.
2 marriages, being a bodybuilder, you should be on like either Maury Povich or Jerry Springer. Like you should be on like Maury. You know, Jerry. Shot rest in peace to Jerry. Maury, he's retired, but it'd be great to see young Maury. Like Maury, I love you. Know, like I know he said my mother, my sister, my sister, my best friend, but I love him.
But I love him.
I love him. You're like, and the baby mom coming down. You know, if y'all Maury, the baby mom coming, y'all gonna fight. Ding ding ding. You're like, nah.
They'd have to bring out one of the other baby mamas, and I think they beat me up because like those girls are trailer trash. Yeah, no offense. They're probably gonna watch this.
No, fuck them. You know, like Fitz, Fitz, whatever. Fuck them. You know, you had no loyalty to them. You know,
I really don't.
Kick rocks. Really kiss my ass.
No, so, I've been through a lot of life in my, my several decades of living. Between the 2 marriages, I was engaged, and he ended up committing suicide, and that is something that I don't wish upon anybody. Like you kind of know that like friends and family are gonna die. But nobody prepares you for when a spouse is going to die. And like, that was surreal. Talk about denial and out of body experiences. Like putting him in the ground was one of the hardest things I've ever done. And then I did learn a very poignant lesson when he passed away. It was that time moves on no matter what. So if you have like, for example, we're going to relate it back to bodybuilding, right? So like if you have an hour of cardio to do and you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. And then an hour goes by, you could have gotten that hour of cardio done and you'd be done by now. No, you still have to do it, right? So like it was an awful way to learn that lesson. I try to find the silver linings in everything that I go through and take as much accountability for my part in whatever happened, because as mad as I could be at life, it's not really going to benefit me a whole ton. And it doesn't get me further or happier or to have a better life to be angry. So like, I don't see a point in being upset or vengeful or bitter, because a lot of these things, like indirectly, maybe it was my fault, but like, it wasn't my fault, you know?
Here's like this. Whatever problems he had, that was his problems. And he should have, especially if you have somebody like yourself or family, express it, get help. Like we talk about this also, I do on my channel. We talk about mental health, especially in the bodybuilding world. You know, was he a competitor or was he just a regular person?
He wasn't. He was a total weirdo. He was a rock climber and like a super big nerd. He had an IQ of like 141. He was a genius. He was like a tall, sexy Jesus, but like the white man version of Jesus, you know, long hair, big features. He loved life. He was an incredible father, but he just, I don't know, when you get brilliance like that and it doesn't have a purpose, it tends to lose itself. And you see this like spiral out of control until suicide becomes an inevitability. And you see a lot of people wonder what their purposes are in life, and their mental health starts to become a big topic. And especially with men, they don't want to talk about it. And if they do want to talk about it, they don't have a safe place or a safe person to talk about it with.
Yeah, here, especially in the Black community, that's where we look at. We see it as your problem, especially if you're Blanco, you know. But the thing is, everybody has issues. As men, we need, and the thing is, society, we're supposed to bend and grit it. You know, like I tell you the truth, most people in my life died. That was my older brother James. He was kind of like my father. Like I said again, he was in and out most of our lives. You know, and I didn't get to see him till after my brother passed. That's almost 20 years. And, you know, he was the one who really got me to bodybuilding because he used to lift weights, play football. And he used to love the muscle mags. And, you know, and we used to lift weights in the backyard. You know, he was like the father figure to my nieces and nephews because their father was in and out. And when he died, that kind of, you know, was my big brother. Then my sister Mary, she was like the third oldest of my sisters. And my mother had three, we had 6 of us, technically 7, but 6 of us all together. The first 3 were girls, and then the rest were my brothers. And when she passed, that was somebody who I love and care about, you know, we're close with. And then the biggest person that meant the much to me in the world, and I said this, she was my woman, was my mother. And when she died, because I was taking care of her, and, you know, don't you cry. Don't give me no tears. Just try, man up. Okay. You know, yeah. And she was the most important woman to me because we stood by each other. We lived together, same place for 30 years because we lived out the country with us there by Gluten, split off, and me and her together. And when she got sick, I stepped in and I had some help, and I appreciate the help I had to take care of her because, like I said again, she was my woman. Yeah. And I can tell you that if you don't live for yourself, try to live for those people that need you the most because they want you around. They want to see you because, like I said, I don't have kids. It's just me. And when she left, I didn't have a purpose, but doing this content, Talk to You Ladies gave me a purpose. And again, I would say people, don't be afraid to reach out, get help. If you feel like you're a place where it's not, come on, if you die, there's a lot of people going to miss you and just feel like, hey, we need you. Oh, we got some comments here. Shout out to my guests popping through in the comment section. That's my man here, Josh. He's from Women Bodybuilding Empire. He says, happy Sunday, fun day, George and Sarah. Thank you, brother. My brother here, Exe Gucci 23, shout out to him coming through. It's a great guy. We talk about content on mixed martial arts and other stuff. It says, happy Sunday, George Page and Sarah. Thank you. Also, we have Sadie. And Sadie, she says, hey, everyone. Hope everything is well. Thank you coming through, Sadie. And also, she says this. I think she says, self-love is important. Yeah, you should love yourself more than anybody else if you can. But also, don't forget to love the ones that are close to you and support you. So, folks, while we got Sarah here, we'll do this. We're going to jump into her social media for a little bit. We're going to look at some stuff. We'll talk about some things. If you're interested in follow her links in the description of this live. Reach out in genuine interest. But guys, and she's a beautiful dark raven beauty with big muscles. And I know yes, I have to admit my crime here, Sarah. I am a muscle person, and I think y'all buff beautiful women are so beautiful. But I know there's guys out there, you freaks. Here's my rules. I'm gonna tell you this: no DPs, none. Don't send that to her. We don't want David in the street fighting men over his woman. So be nice. Reach out in genuine interest. I know she's a pretty girl, guys, but hey, guys, stop it, you sick freak. Calm down. So we'll jump here into her social media for a bit, and you want to follow her. The links are in the description of this live. So check out and support her. So here we have right here. This is from the Nationals, which was, can you believe it, just about a month ago. What was that feeling on the stage? And being that you finally now have become an IFBB pro.
Oh my gosh. So when I came out to do my routine, I knew exactly where I was. I wasn't stressed. There was no anxiety. The only thing I had in my mind, I worked with Christina Nicole on my posing, and Christina and I, we changed a bunch of things to get different things to pop. And I could just hear her counting 1, 2, 3, 4 in my head. And it was just, meditate, Sarah, you belong here, and make eye contact with Tyler. That was it. My focus was solely on the judges. And this is going to sound so strange, but like when you look at the judges and you ignore all the other competitors that are standing next to you, and you keep your focus solely on, does the judge like what they see? It kind of took a lot of the pressure off. It made things really, really easy to just exist in that moment without anticipating what was going to happen next. And I have never felt more beautiful, more confident, or more at peace than I was on that stage. It was just something different. Every step felt like I did it with purpose. Every single thing I did felt so sure. Like there was no hesitation, no second guessing. That's my coach. That's Little Dave.
Little Dave, yeah.
He's dope.
Yeah.
It was just, it was something else. And I had a lot of people tell me like, oh, you had to know you were going to win. You knew it, huh? And at 0 point when I was on that stage, didn't I know I was going to win, even when I split center, because at Amateur Olympia in October, I split center with the girl that won. And based on where the girl that looked the worst was, you work your way back. And I was like, oh, I'm in first place. And then I didn't end up winning, and I was shattered. And so I didn't want to put a lot of stock into where I was on that stage. I just knew I felt beautiful. I looked the way that my coach wanted to. Coach was happy. He was giddy as a clam. And that was really all I wanted. I was at peace. I was super calm. Everything felt like it was supposed to be the way it was. And so when we came back for finals, I forgot my heels.
Oh my God.
So I borrowed another girl's shoes, which guys don't understand this because guys don't have to wear shoes, but like you may as well have stepped into another world when you wear someone else's heels on that stage. And nobody could tell that I had different shoes on stage, which was nice. So when I ended up winning, it was like, holy shit, seriously? That happened? And all I heard from the right-hand corner of the stage was, fuck yeah! Just hearing my coach be proud, which was immensely validating. And then when I competed for the overall and Tyler moved me to center to split center with Samantha, I promised myself right there and then, I was like, okay, it really doesn't matter who wins this. We're going to be happy for whichever woman wins that show. You're going to be happy for whatever woman takes the overall. So when Samantha won, I was just elated for her because if I was in that position, I would want her to be happy for me. And so I was like, come on, just be happy for her. You can't do anything else other than clap and be proud.
Wait,
So this is
yeah, because you know what? Yeah, it takes a lot of time and work and patience to understand it. Like, here's the picture here of some of the ladies. One of the ladies I had a pleasure interviewing before she did it. That's Marita Barrera.
I love her. I love that girl. She is a ray of sunshine.
And you got to tell you, it was early last year. She got into a car wreck.
Yeah,
and she got issues with her back, and she also has a disease it's a connective tissue issue that she's been dealing with, and she still, she would say we did an interview. She said she was going to do this show. I said, I wish you better luck. We be keeping contact with her and some of the other ladies. Figure has really evolved over time. We look at the physiques and how the ladies have, especially, if you look at some, particularly the women now in the IFBB Pro League, do you feel that some of the ladies maybe need to move up to pick up the division?
It really depends on what they want from the division. I think if they reward the smaller physiques, I was brave and decided to do some pole dancing.
Wow.
I still got it. So when I landed this, I ended up landing in the splits, and I didn't get hurt, so that was nice.
One of my old jobs, I used to work at a strip club. That's a talent you got to have.
Dude, that is work. Those women, holy crap. Wow, what a skill. It is hard. And I'm strong. So like, geez. No, but I think that a lot of women who are in the figure division are too big and just don't want to move up because I think, and I have this problem too, there's a certain amount of muscularity that needs to be achieved in order to do well in women's physique. And the off season, to me, the off season body doesn't appeal because when you put that body fat on top of the muscle, it's uncomfortable. And like, that's my best friend. And the bald person is my sibling, Kagan. They make everything better. Trust me. Oh my gosh. Made competing way, way, way more fun.
That's good.
Yeah, it's hard to move up divisions because, you want to stay where you are because you're comfortable there. But like, there was a point where I thought I was too big for figure, but the more I'm in it, the more I realize how much potential I have. And like, if you compare my physique to a lot of the European figure girls, I can see where I get most of my genes, my ancestry, because like I'm shaped a little bit more European than I am the way that, Black women just have the smallest waist I've ever seen. Like Sid, Lola, oh gosh, Rhea, oh my gosh, the goddess. They've all got these insane tiny waists. And so we're trying to bring mine in, make my quads bigger, widen my lat taper so that my waist looks a lot smaller. But it's a difficult thing to do. And then you get to like body shape. You got a lot of girls that are shaped like a number 2 pencil in figure because they're boxy, right? Boxy frames tend to do a little bit better in women's physique because women's physique is a throwback to what women's bodybuilding used to be 80s, 90s, early 2000s. So like, I don't know. I think it's a lot of denial. It's a lot of discomfort. But then, if you stop fighting your potential and you do what Megan Morrison did, she switched to women's physique, did her first pro show, was like this close to winning, did her second pro show and earned her qualification to Olympia. I've never seen a body improve that much, like jaw-dropping progression.
I met her when I was in Tampa. She was there. Yeah, she's a big woman too. She's like, I mean,
Mhm.
her husband's a big dude,
Yeah.
and I follow female body Michelle. I know you followed them. They posted where she said right now she's like over 200 pounds
Yeah,
in
she's
her
220.
off season. This is where I'm saying like this. I know she did wear women's physique, but to me, she's women's bodybuilding.
She could be if she wanted to be.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We get comfortable in your division, but then the thing is the judging also. Like I said again, women's physique was supposed to be the alternative for women's bodybuilding when they push it out of shows like the Arnold Classic and they push it out of the Olympia, and fewer promoters. This year they're gonna have fewer shows for women's bodybuilding. And that's one thing. The problem is because there's more shows with physique, and figure you all got way more shows. Now you have a new point system because that's supposed to cut down the numbers because you have so many shows for men's classic, men's physique, bikini, and wellness. You know, fit models will come in. It's gonna blow up just as big.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's about, as you said, it's about if the athlete feels like they want to grow or evolve. You look at someone like Ashley, who I met also. She gave me a shout out. You know, shout out to Ashley Jones. She was figured. Then she went to physique, and then she went to his bodybuilding. We have here shout here to Sadie. She says, that great outfit was undefeated and gorgeous. Also, shout out to my man Josh. Says congratulations on getting your pro card. And also shout out to Sadie. She says, awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, hey. We people love to like talk to you, see ladies and talk to you and hear your stories. And that's the thing it's about the evolution of any athlete. Like in the sport in general, is anybody we pay attention to that you admire your work, their ethic, especially their physiques?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I already dropped Megan's name. Megan, I watched her in figure. And then she took 3 years to change her body to wellness just to succumb to a low back problem. And then, boom, women's physique. That's her jam. I mean, she tried to deny it for a minute because, she was not sure. I love her. Anastasia, like I said, is another woman I greatly, greatly admire. I am friends / close acquaintances with all of the girls who won any of my classes at all the national shows that I did. So like Michelle won nationals in 2023. I find her to be a close friend. She is wonderful. And she is like, gosh, to watch her do her pro debut and then her first show under the guidance of Justin Jacoby. That was so cool to see. She grew so much. And then freaking Spree, I can't remember who Spree is coached by, but Spree had reached out when I'd won my pro card and was like, girl, I knew you were going to win. That was like piece of cake. Like she is hilarious and she is a wonderful human being. And then Jessica Kwalik and I talk. Jessica, I find immensely inspiring because you just see the work ethic day in and day out. It is Groundhog's Day and she is funny as hell. I feel like in figure, we've got great personalities and we're all super funny. Simone Parman, another one of Justin Jacoby's athletes, she competed in South Africa and earned her pro status. And she has been enormously supportive of me. And so we've grown closer and chatted a buttload. But I've been paying attention a lot to like men's bodybuilding and classic physique and like trying to educate myself because I'm also a posing coach. So I've got this wide net of athletes that I've helped to coach in terms of posing, athletes that I greatly admire in my division that I do keep tabs on and with that I just, oh my gosh. Tanya Dominique, have you ever spoken to her?
No, I follow her, but I reached out, but she hadn't returned back because it's just
that is one hell of an athlete. Tanya is like, I don't know what it is about the genes over there, but she is just, my God, she has the most incredible arms. She has built her delts like crazy. She posed with Christina and ended up doing a bunch of women's physique poses. And she did one figure show as a figure competitor as her pro debut, but like the muscle on that girl, holy shit. If I can have that type of muscle growth, it makes me excited to grow and to eat a buttload of food and to just train my face off, get bigger delts, get bigger biceps, because that was Sandy's feedback, other than jumping into a pro show immediately. But like, there's quite a few, honestly. I've been fortunate enough to meet incredibly inspiring women who just work their butts off and they love it. They love the sport. They love the sport. They love what we have to do. They're really, really educated. They're phenomenal dog parents. A lot of bodybuilders have dogs. I do. I have a Great Dane and a Corgi. And they're just great people. Like, I love the sport of bodybuilding. I don't know. I will do this as long as my body will let me. I don't think I'll ever stop. Not unless I'm forced to.
Yeah, I think, like I said, I'm a fan. Like, I don't pay too much attention to the guys, because no offense to them. I like, even when I was younger, I was a fan of guys like Lee Haney, Samir Banu, Lee Barada, when Arnold was competing, Lou Ferrigno, Arlu. I mean, those guys. I really, Ronnie Coleman, yeah, buddy, lightweight, Then I said again, the women were more enticing for me, like people like Laura Creval. I wasn't a big Linda Murray fan, but I do like what she's doing now.
She's
People
doing
like Vicky
amazing work.
Grace, yeah, she's doing amazing work. I mean,
Yeah.
I some ladies who in my time doing this, I got to meet. Like when I was in Tampa, I got to meet Ashley Jones. She shot me out after she won her second place at Olympia.
She's wonderful.
I got to meet also here. I got to meet Sharonica Hinton. She was in the military. She was stationed here in my home state of North Carolina. She was at Bragg, and one of my favorites, and I always got a shout out because she's my girlfriend, and that is Andrea Shaw.
Oh, I love her.
I mean, she's just
so darling. Like, she's so black too. Oh my word!
I gotta tell you this story. If I don't tell you, I wouldn't be me. Because if I know you guys gonna be talking shit about it, but forget y'all. There's, like I said again, my quote is, I say, for my favorite guy. If you get at something, never do it for free.
Mm-hmm.
And doing this content, I get things that I call my payment. Shout out to my friend Eunice. She runs a company, Bad Rap. She was at the Olympia back in 2023. Was still in Orlando.
Okay.
And it was like right a little bit after my birthday. She said, "George, I'm sending you something." I said, "What is it?" It's the issue of muscle development. Now, it's Andre on the cover. It's the last hard copy because they don't do the magazines on anymore. And what makes it special for me, I'm always going to talk this out because this is my badge of honor. When the champ, 6-time Miss Olympia, tells you she thanks me for my support, and she signs it. I know people tell me, "George, you need to put it in something like a cabinet or something." But no, I can't help it. I love it, hug it. I call it George. I like to pet it. Like my little bunny rabbit. I know I need to, but the fact is, when ladies have the interviews with or send me a little just a friend of mine sent me a little thing for Merry Christmas. Get something from ladies tell me happy birthday. One of my friends sent me some money for my birthday, and I was expecting anything because hey, I appreciate that. Mm-hmm. When I do this content and have good connections, some women, we didn't really mesh or whatever issue, whatever. But some of these ladies that I have good connections with and I try to keep up with them. I try to send my support because I know for my conversation with y'all, this sport is tough. Mm-hmm. This sport can drag your mind down, your body down. As you were talking earlier, folks were planning on doing this last year, but then she did a prep, and that can really.
I was so useless. I felt so bad. I was like, "Wow, really dropped the ball on that one."
That's all right. You're here now. It's better late than never. We have here, we have a comment in the comment section. I appreciate my guests coming through. My man XA. He got hey, he like I won't be like my other personality. Sicky Johnson play head here. Can't hate no more. So that's what it is. Yeah, that's the thing is understanding the factors of this sport, the training, the regiment. You were doing bikini, and then you switched to figure, and just as an athlete, as you grow and you're trying to find those right things to help you, like you did both the North Americans and the Olympia, well, amateurs, but what was the feedback after this show?
So Sandy's feedback was grow my delts, grow my biceps. My glutes are almost too big. Hallelujah. I am so sick of growing those things. And to bring in, what'd she say? Delts, biceps, and to bring in the conditioning just a little bit more to be ready for a pro stage. But she said, if I work towards that, then I get in a pro show immediately. I know that she is kind of like that. She likes to see, once you turn pro, she kind of likes to see you super, super soon after that on a pro stage. For right now, I do not know how long that will take us. I need to get blood work done. I get blood work done tomorrow. We're going to make sure I'm healthy. Once I'm healthy, then we'll plan out shows for either this year or next. So I have no idea what next steps are. That's kind of up to the boss man, because I'm good to go. I'm like, okay, sweet, let's run it. But, you know, that's why I'm not in charge. So
that's the thing is that's the thing. It's smart to take your time, because conversations I have quite a few of you ladies is this is not a race. It's a marathon. You don't want to get burnt out too quick. I know, I know some players I want to jump into the game right now, but then you got to think about it. You go up against some heavy hitters. You got people like Lena Rumstein. You got people like Jessica Reyes Padilla. You got people like Denise, and you know her first Olympia, and she cracked the top 5.
Yeah,
you know,
I was there in person. Oh my God, holy shit! Like it wasn't surprising based on how she looked, but like, holy shit. And I told my coach, I was like, listen, I do want to compete soon, but I do not want to be bottom of the barrel. I want my pro debut for people to be like, that one is one to watch. I am fully confident that I can make my way to Olympia. I can feel it. I can feel it deep in my bones. I don't know why. I am not genetically gifted whatsoever. I am an undeniable workhorse, and I will get everything that I work for because I have no problem losing. I'm totally fine losing as many times as it takes, because once you hit the pro league, like, here's the thing. Once you turn pro, you are now the worst in the pro league. And you essentially have to start over, because these people, like, you now no longer have the saving grace of a height class, right? I now have to commit and compete next to girls that are shorter than me and are these little tanks, like Tessa Meets, right? She is 5'2", if that, and just, oh my God, her shape is incredible. And then I also have to compete next to all of the girls that I lost to at previous shows who are taller than me and look just as beautiful, just as graceful. And if there's one thing I have, it's rhythm and presentation. I am exquisite at posing, and I learn very quickly. I am not afraid to work, but I don't want there to be any question that I will be competitive. And so I'm fine waiting. I'm fine busting my butt, putting in the work, because the people always say, trust the process. And it's not just the process or the journey. It's the everyday decisions, the teeny tiny things that you do every day. Those are the things that matter most in bodybuilding. Yeah, the food, yeah, the training, yeah, the cardio, but it's also like the supplementation, those little stupid pills that you take over the counter every day. Those matter a lot. Your sleep quality, your friends, your work environment, your significant other, these conversations, like the privilege of doing this interview with you, you know, it is a privilege. Like, think about it. Like, you didn't have to ask. I'm very grateful. I'm flattered and honored. Thank you.
Well, like I said, for me, it's the privilege to have you ladies come on and share your story. Sometimes I reach out to people. I don't think I don't want to. I understand. I understand. You know, I tell myself, stop saying you understand. I get what you're going at, because some ladies don't feel comfortable talking about themselves. Some just say, I don't have nothing to talk about. But the thing is, you have a story that might be inspired somebody who's out there, like you've been in your position, and they needed something to way out. I've talked to ladies where they were also in abusive relationships, or some women who were, after having their kids, and they got into bodybuilding because, you know, the kids were growing up, they wanted something for themselves. Women who were very athletic, and they wanted something that still feed into athletic desires.
Yeah.
This is why I do this channel, because for me, this was something to help me out, because instead, again, I was taking care of my mom. And she was going through a lot. She had 4 seizures back to back, a stroke. She was in early stage of dementia. And I appreciate the people that was helping me with her, but still, I had a lot of responsibilities. And I needed something. And I remember a friend of mine, his name is Coach Sheridan Harrison. He used videos and interviews with women in MMA and boxing, like they say, George, find something you like to talk about. I said, I'm a fan of bodybuilding, you know, and I said, let me do little stuff here and there. And then after a while, I started reaching out and doing interviews. And then, like I said, again, my mom passed. That was in 2020. She had gotten COVID. And I needed something to so I really dug myself into this. And ladies have met and got to meet. And, you know, I went to my first 5-minute show. That was in 2022. I missed the train back to North Carolina. But thank God my niece lived in Atlanta. She gave me a ride back home from Savannah. And doing this is to me